New this morning, a man was taken to the hospital with major injuries after crashing his ATV on railroad tracks in Tehama County. The CHP said the crash happened on the tracks near Arameo Way and Oak Street in North Las Molinas around 9:30 last night. That driver was driving around 50 miles per hour on the tracks when he hit something, causing him to be thrown from the vehicle. The CHP said he was not wearing a helmet and hit his head and injured his back. He was taken to the hospital with major injuries. Train traffic was briefly stopped due to the crash. Here's your first live look outside of the day. This is Highway 99 at Neal Road, just south of Chico. Good news from the CHP. Traffic is moving smoothly. And welcome to your Thursday morning, and good news from the weather department. Another gorgeous day on the way.
It's going to be great out there today. I'm really excited about this. I know that yesterday we were talking about how nice and pleasant the conditions were going to be and how it was going to be a great opportunity to get that yard work done. I got the lawn mowed yesterday. I feel good about that.
Well done.
Maybe I'll be able to just enjoy a little time outside today instead of getting that work in, because it's going to be so nice this afternoon. It's going to feel like spring again today, but a little brisk this morning. And what we're seeing outside right now, here's the view from Magalia. This is the Sawmill Lookout camera located in Magalia in the Butte County foothills, looking west over Paradise and Chico. You can see the sky over the valley, mostly clear skies above, but we're starting to see some clouds intruding into the coastal areas and starting to work towards the far west side of the valley, but they're so thin right now that they're barely even popping up on the satellite in the last 3-hour loop. Now, current conditions right now, 43 degrees in Chico, clear skies, calm winds. Redding quite a bit cooler than yesterday by close to 10 degrees, 39 degrees right now. Redding was around 48 degrees at this time yesterday. So we're seeing clear skies right now. The calmer winds really responsible for that big drop in temperatures for Redding early this morning compared to yesterday. 43 degrees currently in Red Bluff, 43 for Orville as well. That bus stop forecast, getting those kids ready to head out the door to school on this Thursday morning. Not too shabby. A light extra layer should do the trick. Temperatures are going to be climbing really quickly once the sun rises. Mid to upper 40s in the valley for drop-off time. Mid 70s under thin clouds at pickup time today. Higher elevations. Sunny skies for drop-off time with mid 30s for the most part. Partly cloudy skies with mid 60s in the Sierra and mid to upper 60s in the northern mountains by pickup time. Kelly, in just a couple of minutes, I'm breaking down what you need to know if you're trying to get a little patio dining in for lunch on this very spring-like late winter day, as well as how warm will end up this afternoon. What you need to know to take on that Thursday before you head out the door in less than 10 minutes.
See you in a bit, Court. The Chico Area Recreation and Park District, or CARD, is now closer to bringing its new aquatic center to life. Action News Now reporter Diego Moctezuma is live at the future site between Esplanade and Garner Lane near Highway 99. Diego, what is CARD doing with the project today?
Well, Kelly, potential contractors can now make a bid to start developing the new aquatic center here in Chico of Garner Lane and Esplanade right down the street here. Now, CARD has already gone through the design phase. Take a look. This is what the aquatic center would look once it is complete. Once it is completed. Now, contractors who are interested in doing the work would have to give an estimate for the cost of making a leisure pool, a programmed warm-up pool, and a 50-meter competition pool. But it's more than just swimming pools. Think of it more as a water park.
In addition to the pools, at the far end of the leisure pool will also be a lazy river and 2 slides, and we're looking at a 3rd slide as well, depending on what the bids look like from the general contractors that submit proposals to build the project.
Now, once bidding closes on March 14th, the board will review the proposal and the contract will be awarded by the end of March. Schumann tells me he hopes to break ground in the spring, and completion of the project could take 12 to 18 months. Completion of the brand new aquatic facility and the grand opening is slated in the fall of 2026. Now, the bid walk starts today at 10 a.m. at the CARD office off of Valambrosia Avenue with an overview of the project. Then potential contractors will come here to the site off Garner Lane to take a scope of the land. Right now, nothing is happening, but that will soon change. Live in Chico, I'm Diego Moctezuma with Action News Now.
Very exciting to see it moving forward. Thanks, Diego, for that update. It is expected to cost about $30 million. That money will come from federal grants, CARD's general fund, and through a capital campaign. Today, if you'd like to take part in a conversation about justice and public safety in Shasta County, the Board of Supervisors is holding a special meeting. The board will hear a presentation from county criminal justice agencies on the challenges they face. Public safety leaders will also explore opportunities to increase collaboration. The special meeting is today at 10 a.m. at the County Administration Center on Court Street in Reading. A Chico man who was arrested on multiple counts of sexual abuse 19 years after the suspected crimes will be in court today in Butte County. 36-year-old Shane Palmer was arrested earlier this week. Last year, the victim's father came forward and reported that Palmer had sexually abused his daughter 19 years ago. Butte County DA Mike Ramsey said the child molestation happened before and after Palmer turned 18 years old. The DA's office will charge him with crimes after he turned 18 to send him directly to adult court. Ramsey said the victim was about 10 years old and it happened for several years. Today, Paradise Town Council leaders will welcome a Los Angeles City Council member, and they're going to talk about their shared experiences of recovering from wildfires. Los Angeles Councilwoman Tracy Park will tour Paradise and hear about the town's recovery after the 2018 Camp Fire. This visit comes after last month's deadly, destructive fires in Los Angeles. She'll be joined by Paradise Mayor Steve Crowder discussing their experiences. They'll hold a news conference today at 11:30 a.m. If you've driven along Highway 162 west of Oroville recently, you probably noticed the water in the Thermalito Afterbay is a lot lower than usual. Action News Now reporter Margot Rowe tells us why the water level is so low and when we could return it to normal.
Typically around this time of year, the water level at the Thermalito Afterbay should be a lot higher, where these buoys should be floating and where I'm standing, I should be swimming. However, due to a recent construction project, that has led to the water level to be a lot lower.
It's our first time down here this year, so we were kind of curious what the water level was like after all the rain and everything. Really surprised.
A surprising sight indeed. Since February 18th, locals have noticed a significant drop in the Afterbay's water level, but it's intentional. The DWR has temporarily lowered the water level to work on one of the Wilbur Bridge abutments, the structure that supports the end of the bridge. DWR crews installed rock slope protection to prevent further erosion. The water level was lowered to 128 feet to give crews access.
It is a shock. I've been here going on 11 years, and I don't recall it being quite this low.
The DWR says the water level is within a normal operating range, where it still provides habitats for wildlife and recreation facilities remained open. However, several anglers I spoke with say the lower level made fishing conditions a challenge, but others were holding out for a bite. The DWR says the water level should return back to normal by Friday. Reporting in Orville, I'm Margot Rowe for Action News Now.
So if you plan on taking a boat out, DWR recommends you be on the lookout for sandbars or other underwater hazards that may be closer to the surface. It is 6:08 on this Thursday, and you're never more than 10 minutes away from a local weather update, and Court is back laying out what to expect and how long the perfect spring-like weather is going to last, but changes on the horizon as well.
Yeah, there are, Kelly, and you know that you're not going to just get these kind of conditions forever, but it really is a great idea to take advantage of them while they're sticking around because it's going to be an extremely pleasant Thursday, and Friday looks very nice as well. It does feel very much like spring, despite the fact that we still have at least 3 weeks left in the winter season. In a live look outside this morning, this is over Highway 99 in the northern end of Chico in the Eden Road area, and the sky's getting a little brighter and travel is not impacted as far as the weather goes this morning. Dry and very warm today and Friday. We will see some clouds brushing north across our region through the day today, but they're going to be pretty thin, and it's going to be bright out there tomorrow. Just sunshine and temperatures well above average by 15 or more degrees. For most of us, we'll end up with a cooling trend arriving Saturday, but we'll still be above average Saturday with clouds increasing and then shower chances returning Saturday night, lasting through Sunday. And temperatures much cooler for the latter half of the weekend as well. Not seeing any big impacts for visibility this morning, so good news there on your way out the door. No fog to really contend with. Temperatures right now, upper 30s to mid 40s in the valley. Reading 39 degrees, 43 degrees for Chico and Red Bluff, 43 as well for Orville and Willows. We're in the 40s to lower 50s in the foothills, 52 degrees right now in Paradise. And we're mostly in the 20s in our higher elevations. So when you get a look at where we stand right now compared to this time yesterday, Reading down by 8 degrees. The big difference this morning, we're not seeing the same downslope north winds that kept Reading Much warmer yesterday morning. Degree down for Red Bluff, 4 degrees up for Chico. Orville right on par with where we were 24 hours ago. Winds out of the north to 8 miles an hour right now in Red Bluff, and those winds, a little breezy to start the day, and then they really diminish heading into the afternoon. Just another reason why this afternoon is a great day to get out and about. Satellite and radar, skies have been clear overnight, but we're going to start to see some clouds working inland. Around 8 a.m., we're still mostly just seeing sunshine. You've got some clouds intruding in the far west sides of Tehama and Glenn counties. Some thin clouds over most of our region at noon with some breaks of sunshine through those clouds. Same with the afternoon hours. So again, while we do see the cloud cover increasing, it is going to be very thin and it's going to be very bright out there. Your midday lunch forecast, great for patio dining, about as nice as you could draw it up. Mid to upper 60s at 11 a.m., lower 70s at noon, mid 70s at 1 p.m. with some thin clouds overhead and light winds. High temperatures today, mid 70s to low 80s in the valley, 60s to mid 70s in the foothills, 60s for the Sierra, and lower 70s in Trinity County. Looks very comfortable and pleasant out there today, but make sure you're staying hydrated. We're not acclimated to these warm temperatures just yet. Kelly, in just a few minutes, I'll be breaking down what's driving the dry and warm conditions to persist through the end of this week and what kind of big changes you're going to have to contend with this weekend.
We'll stick around. Thanks, Court. And you stay right there because we're just getting started this morning. A new assembly bill could change how we're allowed to defend ourselves and our homes here in California. Reporter Jesse Angelo talked to a local sheriff about what he thinks about it. And President Trump will meet with the British Prime Minister today to go over Europe's role in ending Russia's war in Ukraine. Plus, we'll tell you about the ongoing efforts to cut federal spending. And breaking news overnight, actor Gene Hackman and his wife both found dead in their home. We'll tell you what law enforcement is saying so far. Today, President Donald Trump is set to host the UK Prime Minister at the White House amid discussions about Europe's role in ending Russia's war in Ukraine. As Jared Hill reports, President Trump and senior advisor Elon Musk are pushing for deeper cuts to federal spending and warned agencies to prepare for more mass firings.
We've had tremendous.
President Donald Trump is doubling down on DOGE.
I think everyone at this table is very much behind it, and if they aren't, I'd want them to speak up, but they're very much behind it.
At the first cabinet meeting of his second term, the president's senior advisor, Elon Musk, defended efforts to slash federal spending and chop the federal workforce.
If we don't do this, America will go bankrupt.
Wednesday, the president signed an executive order expanding the Department of Government Efficiency's power to make more cuts, specifically proposing they trim as much as 65% from the Environmental Protection Agency. The White House is also directing the heads of federal agencies to prepare for large-scale reductions in force.
This country has gotten bloated and fat and disgusting and incompetently run.
During Wednesday's meeting, President Trump also discussed Russia's war on Ukraine, acknowledging that Russia may have to make some concessions. Trump also announced he'll sign a rare minerals deal with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Washington tomorrow, seen by Trump as repayment for the war, but the agreement doesn't guarantee security protections from the U.S.
We'll be on the land, and in that way, there's sort of automatic security because nobody's going to be messing around with our people when we're there.
The Russia-Ukraine war is likely to be a key topic when the president meets with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer today at the White House.
And late last night, Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts paused a lower court order that had required the Trump administration to pay $2 billion in foreign assistance to the State Department and USAID contractors. In the Middle East, an Israeli official said the military will not withdraw from a strategic corridor in the Gaza Strip, as agreed upon in the ceasefire. Israel's refusal could start a crisis with Hamas and key mediator Egypt at a sensitive moment for the fragile truce. The official said Israeli forces needed to remain in the so-called Philadelphia corridor on the Gaza side of the border with Egypt to prevent weapons smuggling. The official spoke hours after Hamas released the remains of 4 hostages in exchange for 600 Palestinian prisoners, the last planned exchange of the ceasefire's first phase, which ends this weekend. And breaking news this morning out of Hollywood, actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa were both found dead at their New Mexico home. Foul play is not suspected, but authorities did not release any details about the circumstances of their deaths and said the investigation is ongoing. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office responded to their home for a welfare check and found Hackman, Arakawa, and the family dog dead. Hackman, who was 95 years old, was one of the industry's most respected and honored performers. His dozens of films include Oscar-winning roles in The French Connection and Bonnie and Clyde. 18 after the hour, stick around. A lunar robot is on its way to the moon right now. We'll tell you more about its mission. And checking your drive as the sun comes up over Highway 99 at East Avenue in Chico, the CHP reporting no major slowdowns right now. A NASA lunar lander is on its way to the moon right now. Take a look.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go into ignition.
Just never gets old looking at these launches. The robotic moon lander, known as Athena, was launched from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida last night. It's on its way to the south pole of the moon. The robot will drill down to study the chemical makeup of rocks and soil beneath the moon's surface. It will also attempt to locate any subsurface water sources. The rocket could land on the moon as early as next Thursday. Oh, I'm going to want to track that. Moon robot? Okay, I'm in.
If we get video, you can be sure that we're going to pass that along to you next Thursday. This stuff is so interesting every time that we see it happening, and there's all these different missions going up, and I know I say it kind of a lot, but what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
This is just, I don't think that younger generations even understand like how big of a leap this has been in the last 50 years, but let alone 20 years. Checking in with what we're seeing outside for today, not too shabby if you're looking to get outside. It's going to be great for the fresh air and a live view right now. This is from the West Peak camera located in the Centerville area of Shasta County. This is southwest of Redding, just southwest, looking southeast over the northern end of the valley. And boy, it's getting bright quickly, and that sunrise is gorgeous. As you look overhead, we've got that beautiful hue of orange right over the Sierra Crest. High pressure, very strong and dominating the weather pattern across the west coast, but we've also got these weaker troughs tracking towards the west coast. So what's going to happen today is these troughs are going to try to make headway inland, and they're going to run into this wall of high pressure. And that's why you're seeing this big arc in the clouds right here. We are going to see some clouds actually spilling north into our region from that system off the coast, but all they're really going to do is just brush on by, and they're going to be so thin that they're not going to block out the sunlight. So it's still going to be a very bright one out there. We've got some thin clouds overhead at 8 a.m. Those clouds becoming a bit more widespread, but still very thin at noon, so very bright despite the partly cloudy skies. And then more thin clouds at 5 p.m. Clearing out tonight, sunshine through your Friday, and boy, it feels like spring today and tomorrow before we see a big shift in the weather pattern as high pressure breaks down and cooler systems take hold for the weekend. Bernie here is just tugging on that pant leg. Let's get out and about, Mom. That's what Bernie's saying this morning. Temperatures mid to upper 40s in the valley at 8 a.m. in your walk the dog forecast, lower 70s, partly cloudy at noon, highs mid 70s to low 80s. Get those pups out. They're going to be itching for it today. Higher elevations, mostly in the 20s this morning, but mid 30s by 8 a.m., upper 50s to lower 60s by noon, highs 60s for the Sierra. We'll end up in the 70s in parts of the northern mountains today. And if you're trying to get that yard work done, I have no excuses for you today or tomorrow. We do start to see shower chances, mainly Saturday evening, so Saturday still looks good, but Sunday it's going to be wet. So if you want to get that yard work done before the rain arrives, you've got through Saturday to get it done.
Get it done, and look out for those mosquitoes, right, Court?
I was eaten alive yesterday. We were just talking about this off air, but yes, the mosquitoes are bad this year.
Okay, yeah, you've been warned. All right, thanks, Court. Time for money news. New numbers out this morning show applications for U.S. jobless benefits rose to a 3-month high last week, but remain in the same healthy range of the past 3 years. And it was another mixed close on Wall Street. The Dow was down 188, NASDAQ was up 48. We're going to check the opening numbers for you at the bottom of the hour. Here's Chanel Call with today's money headlines, including the Trump administration with a plan to address the skyrocketing cost of eggs.
The Trump administration is looking at boosting egg imports to help crack surging prices due to bird flu. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says it's putting more than $1 billion toward fighting bird flu, providing relief for affected farmers, and developing a bird flu vaccine. According to Consumer Price Index data, egg prices jumped more than 50% in January compared to the year before. President Donald Trump says he is revoking a permit that allowed Chevron to pump and export oil from Venezuela. On social media, the president said he is ending the agreement because Venezuela's leader has not met certain democratic electoral conditions and because the country is not transporting its citizens from the U.S. fast enough. The Chevron permit was granted back in 2022 by the Biden administration, and it has been responsible for about a quarter of Venezuela's oil exports. And Ritz Crackers is spicing up its lineup with its new hot honey flavor. The company says the snack combines its iconic buttery flavored richness with fiery sweetness. The new hot honey Ritz Crackers will be sold at major retailers nationwide. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
And stay right there because we're working new local stories for you this morning. You don't want to miss. A new park is coming to Chico. Reporter Diego Moctezuma will join us live with where those plans stand and the activities it will offer when it opens. And a local sheriff talks of how he feels about a newly proposed assembly bill that could change how we defend ourselves and our homes in California. Reporter Jesse Angelo has his response.
Yeah, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mic check.
Today on Action News Now Mornings, Chico is developing a new park. Action News Now reporter Diego Moctezuma reports on where things stand now in those plans. Today, PG&E is hosting an open house explaining the next steps in burying more power lines in Shasta County. We're going to tell you where to go to find out how they're working to improve fire safety. And a proposed law in California could limit self-defense rights here. We're going to tell you what a local sheriff had to say about the idea. All next this Thursday, February 27th on Action News Now. And we'd like to get you up to speed on the traffic you'll face on your drive this morning. This is a live look at Highway 99 at East 20th Street in Chico. A beautiful morning and things beautiful on the roads. No major slowdowns. And welcome in. Happy Thursday. And did you know it was National Pokemon Day and National Chili Day? So tell your friends. But a little too warm to eat chili for dinner tonight, I think. That's usually a cold weather dinner for me.
Yeah.
Or is it never too warm to eat chili?
You know, like chili dogs. That seems like more of a spring,
There you
summery type thing. And it's
There you
going to
go.
feel very spring-like this afternoon again. So if you're looking to fire up the grill and maybe just throw some chili on some hot dogs, that actually sounds pretty good right now. It's way too early for me to be thinking about chili dogs. But yeah, it's going to be a great day out there. And get a look at this. Here's the sunrise right now. This is the Artois camera in Glenn County. looking to the east over Glen, Butte counties up into the Sierra, and it's nice little glow of orange over the Sierra crest as the sun's getting ready to just make that climb up and rise early on today. And it's going to be a bright one out there, despite some clouds that are going to be increasing overhead today. Satellite and radar the last 3 hours, we've seen some clouds starting to break through the coast. We're going to see some of those thin clouds starting to work into the valley early this morning, but those clouds are going to be so thin that it's really going to leave us with bright conditions for today. Chico is now dipped into the upper 30s, and light winds and clear skies, one of the big reasons we don't have a blanket of clouds overhead to trap in the heat. Redding dipped into the 30s about a half an hour ago, so both Chico and Redding 39 degrees right now. Most of the valley still in those low to mid 40s, and that's where we're going to stand at 7 a.m. Upper 30s to mid 40s. We'll end up in the mid to upper 40s by 8 a.m. Lower 60s, though, and 10 a.m. Warming up very quickly with 70s possible by your lunch hour at noon today. So a great day to get out and about and enjoy some fresh air. Just make sure you're staying hydrated. I'll track how warm it's going to end up in your backyard this afternoon, how long these spring-like conditions are sticking around, and when you'll need to plan on working around some showers in the forecast. Coming up in less than 10 minutes.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Court. Congressman Doug LaMalfa is praising federal funding for wildfire protection in California. The government is sending $70 million to the Golden State to fund shaded fuel breaks in U.S. Forest Service lands. Shaded fuel breaks are strips of land where vegetation is thinned, lower branches are removed, and ground fuels are removed. In a statement, LaMalfa said in part, this funding allocated by disaster relief legislation at the end of last year comes at a critical time as California faces another devastating fire season. With over 1 million acres burned last year alone, shaded fuel breaks are a vital tool in protecting our towns, forests, and firefighters. More parks are coming to Chico. The Chico Area Recreation and Park Districts will soon develop a new park in West Chico. Action News Now reporter Diego Moctezuma is live on Henshaw Avenue. Diego, we reported last year during the first community input meeting on this park. Where do things stand now?
Yes, well, it's a long time coming, Kelly, but today CARD told me that they will be awarding the design contract for the future park here at Henshaw Avenue. Once it's awarded at tonight's board meeting, the architect will start the design plans for the future park. As you can see, there are a lot of trees here, and CARD tells me the design plans should incorporate the trees and keep them in place. CARD Scott Schumann tells me there will be large artificial turf fields to host outdoor games throughout the year.
So we would look to have artificial turf to host soccer, lacrosse, any sort of field game that we could actually program throughout the year, so we could actually run programs in the winter as well, which would be great.
Now, once a landscape architect designs the park, it will go to bid for construction. Contractors could break ground this summer. The project could take up to 9 months before it is open to the public. Now, this here will be a 12-acre park with new fields, courts, and off-site parking. Half of the land will eventually be combined with school recreation space. Live in Chico, I'm Diego Moctezuma with Action News Now.
Hey, thanks, Diego, for that update. That's an exciting project. The Chico Unified School District owns 6 acres of the land. A future elementary school is planned for the site, with construction of that in the next 10 to 15 years. Today, PG&E is hosting an open house in Shasta County. You can learn more about the local work to bury power lines underground in Lakehead to improve wildfire safety. Last year, PG&E buried more than 8 miles of power lines just in Lakehead. And this year, the company expects to bury another 16 miles of those lines. That work is expected to be finished in 2027, with a total of 35 miles of power lines underground in that community. The open house is tonight at 5 p.m. at the Lakehead Lions Club. Now, if you're interested in how Chico is going to grow over the coming years, you can check out tonight's forum called How Does Chico Grow From Here? It's hosted by the Chico Green City Coalition and Smart Growth Advocates. That coalition said over the coming 20 years, Chico will grow by about 0.8% a year. City Council members Bryce Goldstein and Addison Winslow and other speakers will present ideas for how and where housing should be built. The forum will be at the Chico Women's Club that's on East 3rd Street starting tonight at 6 p.m. Soon there's going to be one less bus route in Chico. At today's meeting of the Butte County Association of Governments, they're going to discuss discontinuing Beeline Route 52. That's the Chico Airport Express due to low ridership. Now, with the expected micro transit service coming in the next 18 months, most of Chico will be covered by that. They're also reviewing other bus routes in the future, and they could remove 20% of stops that are not being used fully. They'll also discuss the anticipated opening of the Paradise Transit Center by the middle of March and what impact a potential pause in federal funding could have on local transportation projects. The meeting is at 9 a.m. today at the BCAG office on Huss Drive in Chico. Newly introduced Assembly Bill 1333 could put restrictions on self-defense rights here in California, including your right to protect your home. Action News Now reporter Jesse Angelo takes a look at the bill and what one local sheriff says about it.
AB 1333 was introduced last week by Assemblyman Rick Chavez-Zabur from Los Angeles. The bill seeks to eliminate certain circumstances under which homicide is justifiable, including home defense. It also outlines circumstances where homicide is not justifiable, such as when a person uses more force than necessary to defend themselves against danger. Many law enforcement officials have come out criticizing the proposed legislation. I spoke with Tehama County Sheriff Dave Kane to get his perspective.
We are swinging so far outside the realm of what is reasonable by telling people now that under certain circumstances they can't protect themselves in their own home against a criminal element is probably one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard of.
Current state law, known as the Castle Doctrine, states homicide is justifiable when committed in defense of habitation, property, or person. Sheriff Kane says he thinks this law is sufficient and that there's already a procedure in place to determine justified versus non-justified homicide.
That is what the district attorney's office does. They look at the evidence, they look at everything that comes forward, and they make the determination on whether this rises to the level of justifiable homicide under self-defense or if it is actually a homicide.
Some gun control groups have come out in support of the bill, but the amount of criticism Zabur received prompted a response where he promised to make amendments to the bill, saying, quote, "The goal is to prevent wannabe vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse from provoking violence and claiming self-defense after the fact. We will amend the bill to make this crystal clear," unquote. Sheriff Kane says any amendment is likely to be irrelevant.
I don't know how you could modify it that would make it any other way than the way that I read it, which is that we are trying to make it illegal to defend yourself in your own home.
Sheriff Kane tells me he and California's 57 other sheriffs will be discussing this bill at their next meeting. In Redding, Jesse Angelo, Action News Now.
Action News Now also reached out to Butte County Sheriff Corey Honey for his thoughts on this legislation. He said in part, it would negatively impact a person's right to defend themselves or others against attack, and that it creates an unreasonable and subjective standard for people who legitimately fear for their lives. You never have to wait long to get that local weather information, and Court is here with a big smile on his face because the weather has been perfect. I imagine people are high-fiving you when you walk through the grocery store.
You know, I haven't had that happen yet, but I wouldn't be shocked. It's so nice out there. High five. And it's going to be a great day for getting out and about this afternoon. And it's going to stay very spring-like because that's really what we're seeing out there for the afternoons through tomorrow. So you've got, if you can't take advantage of it today, you still got another day of it before that change of pace settles in for your weekend. And what I'm tracking for you this morning, it's been clear overnight and it's a bright start to the day. Here is the view over Highway 99 from the northern end of Chico in the Eden Road area. And you're not seeing any cloud cover overhead right now or impacts to your commute this morning. But we are going to see some clouds brushing north across our region throughout the day that are going to be so thin that they're not really going to block out the sun. So you still want those sunglasses, still going to be very bright out there. Right now, we're in the upper 30s to mid 40s in the valley. Chico briefly dipped to 39 degrees, but we're seeing 41 now. 39 degrees in Redding, 43 for Orville and Red Bluff. We're in the 40s to lower 50s in the foothills, 52 degrees in Paradise right now, and we're in the 20s for most mountain areas. So chilly in the mountains, pretty mild in the foothills and valley this morning, although brisk, but those temperatures are going to warm up rapidly. Winds out of the north to 8 miles an hour right now in areas along I-5 in the valley. Gusts could get up to around 15 miles an hour or so this morning, but they'll be lighter for the afternoon. We'll see north winds that are a little breezy through the day tomorrow, gusts up to 25 miles an hour, and then a shift to south winds as a cooler system rolls into the weekend. But even those winds, nothing to write home about, gusts to maybe 15 miles an hour on Saturday. Satellite and radar, mostly clear skies overnight into this morning, and as we head through the day today, we're going to see a few more of these clouds that are drawn in by this weak trough off the coast of Southern California, just pulled to the north, pushed into our region, but we're staying dry. High pressure to our north and east, acting as that blocking pattern to keep our region, for the most part, sunny, dry, and very warm for the afternoons today and tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have the sunshine returning. Today we've got the thin clouds overhead, but it's still going to be very bright. Those clouds are not going to do a whole lot to block out the sunlight. We'll see some thin clouds rolling in at 8 a.m. for that morning commute. Clouds a little bit more widespread at noon, and then same with the afternoon hours. But again, that cloud cover is going to be negligent as far as the impact on your forecast. Sunny skies to start off the day Friday, plenty of sunshine through the day. And then Saturday is when we start to see that shift in the weather pattern, some clouds building in. By Saturday evening, there's the chance for showers through the northern mountains into the northern end of the valley. Widespread showers possible late Saturday night through most of Sunday with some snow in the mountains, light to moderate showers for most of the valley, and a slight chance for thunderstorms. Monday, models are back and forth on whether or not the valley will see some showers, but it does look likely for the mountains. Checking in with when that rain's going to be moving in. Still heading into late Saturday afternoon into early evening. Still dry, but Saturday night that ramps up. Through Sunday night, we're looking at over an inch of rain possible for Redding, half an inch or so for Chico, nearly 3/4 of an inch for Orrville. Higher elevations looking at around a half an inch or so possible. We could be seeing up to a foot in the foothills, or could be seeing up to an inch. Meanwhile, we're seeing about a half a foot possible for snow in areas above 5,000 feet in the Sierra for Sunday, about 2 inches for Chester. We'll end up with an inch or so in the northern mountains. Then we'll see a little bit more on the way from late Sunday night through early next week. So could see a couple more inches of snow, mainly above 5,000 feet. Highs today, upper 60s to mid 70s in the northern mountains. We'll end up in the upper 50s to upper 60s in the Sierra and Southern Cascades. Foothills in the 60s to mid 70s for the afternoon. 75 in Paradise today. Upper 70s to low 80s in the valley. Redding 80 degrees, 78 for Red Bluff. We'll end up in the mid to upper 70s in the mid-valley for today. Sunny to partly cloudy through the day. Moving forward, tomorrow looking nearly identical, although a little warmer than today with sunshine overhead, so still very much feeling like spring. A dip into the mid to upper 60s Saturday with clouds increasing. That's still above average for our high temperatures for this time of year. We'll then dip into the mid to upper 50s with widespread showers and a chance for thunderstorms Saturday. And then some limited shower chances and staying cool and cloudy early next week. Kelly coming up in just a couple of minutes. With the conditions out there today, might be tempted to get out on the water. I'll be tracking the latest on your lake levels and have your backyard forecast. That's coming up.
Okay, look forward to it. Thanks, Court. At 43 after 6 o'clock, and we're just getting started. A local high school principal speaks out after he was arrested in Redding. We're going to tell you what happened there. And thousands of UC workers will continue their strike today. We're going to tell you about their concerns next on Action News Now. Good morning. We are keeping an eye on your money with the opening of the stock market 15 minutes ago. Let's look at the opening numbers. The Dow is up 214 and the NASDAQ is up more than 160. In a post on Truth Social this morning, Donald Trump announced that the proposed tariffs of 25% on Mexico and Canada will take effect on March 4th. Trump also said that the two countries had yet to curb the flow of drugs over the border by enough. The president also said that China would face an additional 10% levy. In case you missed it, here are some of the local stories we've been following this week. We spoke to the principal of Enterprise High School in Reading after he was arrested over the weekend after a disturbance that happened outside his home. Principal Ryan Johnson tells us it was part of a custody dispute that happened between him and his ex-wife outside his home Saturday night. Johnson added that he'd been drinking Saturday night, which isn't normal for him. He said he was arrested after he did not stay inside his house during the dispute, which police had asked him to do. Johnson said he was booked into the Shasta County Jail Saturday and was released under his own recognizance. A big day for the Good News Rescue Mission in Reading with the grand opening of the Veda Street Tiny Home Village. The nonprofit shelter has 17 units. They were built last year. Crews just finished undergrounding power and utility lines and some chip sealing. This is the first project of its kind in Shasta County. The 17 units can fit a total of 20 people. Residents of the village will have a case manager on site to help them figure out their next steps. Thousands of healthcare workers with the University of California will picket today for the second day of their strike. This is aerial footage from the strike that started yesterday over alleged unfair labor practices and staffing shortages. Two unions representing thousands of healthcare and service workers will be back on the picket lines throughout the day on all 10 UC campuses. The strike started after the union and the university system failed to reach a new contract. Insurance companies in California are raising rates following devastating wildfires in the state last month. State Farm Insurance is asking for an emergency rate increase that would start May 1st. California's insurance commissioner sat down with State Farm officials yesterday, and Suzanne Fahn reports on what to expect from the insurance company.
The devastating wildfires in Los Angeles could be one of the costliest disasters for insurance companies. California homeowners are also worried about their own insurance policies, says State Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara.
Our company's going to leave. Am I going to have an option? And am I going to get dropped?
About 3 weeks ago, State Farm General asked for an immediate emergency rate hike. That's the California subsidiary of State Farm. It wants to increase homeowner policies 22%, condo owner policies by 15%, and insurance for rental units by 38%. The state insurance commissioner sat down with State Farm representatives to get answers.
My immediate question to them was, can you pay out the claims for the current fire victims? As we're operating on day by day. And that was, they assured me that they do have that.
The commissioner also wanted to know about State Farm's plan for the future.
I want to know, one, that if State Farm consumers are going to be asked to pay more, that we get some guarantees that, one, they're going to continue to grow their footprint and that they're going to stay in California.
State Farm General Insurance Company is the largest insurer in the Golden State. In May 2023, it stopped writing new policies in California. And in May 2024, it did not renew thousands of existing policies. Critics say State Farm has a lot to prove in order to secure a rate increase.
They've had rate increase after rate increase, and there's a process in California to make sure that the rate increases are fair and for Californians.
Consumer Watchdog says homeowners insured by State Farm could pay an additional $600 a year for their policies.
When you're looking at such a big number, up to a $600 increase, we just really think you need to go through the process and make sure that it's going to be the right number and fair for Californians and protect them.
State Farm says it's already paid out more than $1 billion that covers roughly 9,500 claims related to the Southern California wildfires. And Governor Gavin Newsom has directed the state's parole board to investigate whether Eric and Lyle Menendez pose a public safety risk if they're released from prison. It comes months after the brothers' attorneys filed a clemency request with Newsom's office, and just days after Los Angeles top prosecutor said he opposed the separate effort by the brothers seeking to overturn their convictions. Public safety experts and forensic psychologists will conduct the assessment and share their finding with the LA County District Attorney, Nathan Hochman.
We are moving forward with an investigation, a risk assessment investigation that I've directed to the Board of Parole Hearings. And my hope is to get that report and that hearing done in a matter of weeks. My goal is within 90 days.
An LA County Superior Court judge will preside over their resentencing effort, which is ongoing. The Menendez brothers are serving life sentences for the 1989 shotgun murders of their parents. 6:51, and we are headed into another gorgeous day. Court Clopping in the Weather Center with a gorgeous look at that sunrise. Wow, what a morning.
I know. Check this out. I love this live look. This is from the Hamilton City camera. It's on the eastern edge of Glenn County looking east over Butte County in the northern Sierra, and you can see it's getting bright very rapidly this morning with clear skies overhead right now. Now, in your backyard forecast today, it's going to be great for getting out and about in that backyard. We're going to see some thin clouds rolling in, though. Those clouds are going to be so thin that it's still going to be extremely bright, and the temperatures are going to rapidly rise. Mid-60s by 11 a.m., mid-70s by early this afternoon. High temperatures, for the most part, ranging from the upper 70s to lower 80s later today. So it's going to feel very nice for getting out and about, and it may be tempting to get out on the water even. And right now, our lake levels are looking pretty healthy. 84% full for Lake Orville, 38 feet from the top right now. Shasta has gone up by a foot since yesterday because of that inflow, 37 feet from the top right now, 78% full, still well above average for how much water is in the lake this time of year. Meanwhile, it's not going to be as tempting to get out of the water this weekend. Clouds increasing Saturday, showers Saturday night, mid to upper 60s for the afternoon. Saturday after starting out in the 40s. We'll have high temperatures in the mid to upper 50s with showers through the day on Sunday. So if you do want to get out and about and spend some time outside getting some fresh air, today and tomorrow looking really nice. This weekend, starting to see that need to be inside a little bit greater, especially into Sunday.
Okay, enjoy the sunshine. Thanks, Court. Don't miss the top 5 stories you need to know today. We're counting them down up next. As we give you a live look at Highway 99 at Eaton Road in Chico, traffic moving smoothly on this Thursday.
Yeah, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Here are the top 5 stories you need to know this Thursday morning. The Chico Area Recreation and Park District, or CARD, is now closer to bringing the new aquatic center to life. Action News Now reporter Diego Moctezuma is live at the future site in Chico between Esplanade and Gardner Lane near Highway 99. And Chico, Diego, what is CARD doing with that project today?
Well, Kelly, potential contractors can now make a bid to start developing the brand new aquatic facility here between Esplanade and Gardner Lane. Now, take a look at this. CARD has already gone through the design phase. This is what the aquatic center would look like once it is completed. Contractors would make a leisure pool, a programmed warm-up pool, and a 50-meter competition pool. But much more, think of it as a water park. Now, CARD hopes to break ground in the spring, and completion of the brand new aquatic facility and the grand opening is slated in the fall of 2026. Now, the bid walk starts today at 10 a.m. At the CARD office on Valambrosia Avenue, and contractors will be going to the Gardner Lane site today to see the land. Back to you, Kelly.
A man was taken to the hospital with major injuries after crashing his ATV on the railroad tracks in Tehama County. CHP tells us the crash happened on the tracks near Arameo Way and Oak Street in Las Molinas around 9:30 last night. That driver was going about 50 miles per hour on the tracks when he hit something, causing him to be thrown off the vehicle. The CHP said he was not wearing a helmet and was taken to the hospital with major injuries. Today, if you'd like to take part in a conversation about justice and public safety in Shasta County, the Board of Supervisors is holding a special meeting. They're going to hear a presentation from county criminal justice agencies on the challenges they face. That special meeting is today at 10 a.m. at the Shasta County Administration Center on Court Street in Reading. A Chico man arrested on multiple counts of sexual abuse 19 years after the suspected crimes is going to be in Butte County Court today. 36-year-old Shane Palmer was arrested earlier this week after the victim's father came forward and reported that Palmer had allegedly sexually abused his daughter 19 years ago. Butte County DA Mike Ramsey said the molestation happened before and after Palmer turned 18. The DA's office charging him with crimes after he turned 18, sending him directly to adult court. And today, Paradise leaders will welcome Los Angeles Councilwoman Tracy Park to tour Paradise and hear about the town's recovery after the 2018 Camp Fire.